Hello, welcome back. Today we'll be talking about part 2 of the series of network security for dummies. My name is Anindya Sen, and we run a company called Purple Synapse, where we are into cybersecurity research and development and enablement of students to take a career of cybersecurity. Okay, so in this episode, we are going to talk about mostly the security part of network security. Of course, here we talk about complete basics and conceptual understanding of the different components that make up the structure of network security. If you have not seen part 1, I would advise you just have a look at it so that your fundamentals of networking and communication are established. And here we talk about security concepts and certain components of network security. Okay. So we are going to talk about 4 distinct things in network security. One is a firewall. One is an intrusion detection system, the SOC, and encryption. Now, these are 4 very basic domains and very interesting domains which covers a lot of the part of security that we talk about in networking. And if you have a conceptual understanding of this same and you're able to internalize the same, then surely you are going to have a good foothold when you learn about in details in technical terms. And as usual, any of these introductory terms don't require you to have any background in networking, in security, in technology as such. Okay, but you should be aware about real life stuff. Okay, so the examples are all about real life. And if you can grasp that, you should be able to grasp the concept around it. OK, now let's understand what a firewall is. OK. Now have this picture in your mind. And I'm sure that you would have seen this somewhere. This is an automated gate, mostly found in train stations and metro railway stations. And what happens is that when somebody comes here and he or she has an authorization to pass through, this gate opens and he or she can pass through this. OK, so this is all that is there to the firewall. A firewall is actually an access control device. Your access from this outside world to this inside world where the metro railways start running. And this outside world, everybody else is there, right? Pardon my handwriting. But in this outside world, everybody else is there. And in this inside world, only authorized people are there, right? So this is the security device which allows the authorized people to outside from the outside world into a protected inside world, right? So you are the payload or the device or the packet or the data which is going on from outside to inside, and you are being stopped by this device. Your source and destination. We talked about source and destination in our last episode in networking. OK, so this device will check for your source and destination. We are going from which station to which station. Are you authorized for that? If you're authorized, then this gate will open and it will only allow one person, right? So this is you who is allowed. This is basis on where to where you have taken the tickets. This gate will open and you can go in and then you can avail the services, right? So this is a firewall and this is an access control device. So if you can understand this and if you can understand what is the basic job of a firewall, this is it. Here the topic is about internalizing the basics. OK, now the term firewall came from a very old story that we had in the olden days where the forts used to be protected by a very small army, right? They did not have huge number of people, but the forts were large, the walls were large. OK, and they concentrated the armed forces or the security forces only around the strong doors that they had, assuming that everybody will come to this door, and there we have the access control, right? You have guarded soldiers. But what if they're trying to come to the the walls, these huge walls, but they can still scale up, and they're so large and spread across so many kilometers that you can't have people protecting them all the time. So when there is an attack or anticipation of an attack, they used to put the walls on fire. So that's the firewall. Okay, the walls are on fire. You can't come from there. You have to come from this where there's an access control which is there, right? So this is the fundamental of a firewall, and all concepts of firewall, believe me, are built on this. If you can grasp and internalize this and explain to yourself, then you can grasp the technical concepts as well. So this is about the firewall technology, which we all hear about, and we are going to, if you're going to go into network security line, these are fundamental that you have to know, understand, and implement, and of course, be an expert at. Okay. Now, hopefully you have grasped the basic of what is a firewall. Now let's go to the next topic, which is called an intrusion detection system. Okay, what is the name of the meaning of the term intrusion? Intrusion means that if you are intruding into somebody else's territory, right? You are not supposed to go in there, but you are intruding there. Okay, that means that you have somehow got access to a territory where you are not supposed to be there, but you have somehow got in there. But now my job, or this device's job, is to detect if you have intruded here or not. Okay. So this device is an X-ray device, which is a baggage scanner, right? A baggage is put here, it goes through this device, and there is a monitor here, and the person here who looks at it and finds out that if there is a problem in the baggage. So what is actually happening here? What is happening here is that you have walked into the airport and you have passed the access control, which is basically an analogous to the firewall, which we talked about in the last slide, right? So you have actually passed in this human being with a luggage. He has walked in. Okay. So he's checked that, OK, you have a proper ticket or not. And so you have been allowed into the airport. But before crossing this into the airline, we need to check what is there inside your baggage. OK, this is called deep inspection, right? Deep inspection or deep packet inspection as per the technical term. So we need to do an inspection of your baggage now. What is there in the baggage? Are you going to cause any damage to all the human beings who are going to travel with them? Are you a threat to this particular scenario? So in order to that, I will pass this device through the scanner, and in the scanner, we will do a pattern matching, right? We will see that if this particular, stuff that is there inside your bag, does it match any pattern which is related to threat? So if you have something which is like this and like this, it matches something like a gun. Of course, it's a major alert. So there is a physical person who is looking at that by his own intelligence, and there is a software which is there inside this, which is doing a pattern matching and giving an alert. Oh, there's a life kind of a device. Okay, this kind of a device. But this can be a pen as well. Okay, so that's called false detection, right? It can be a false detection. Many of the most of the times it is false detection, and you are called in and you are asked that, oh, okay, what is this? And you say that this is, and you explain, and you can pass to the airline. Okay, so if you understand this, again, I'm telling you basics. This is what is an intrusion detection system. All that you will read, all the terminologies, all the technical terms, it will be around this. Okay, if you understand what is an intrusion detection system is by this concept, then bravo, you are on the second level of understanding the basics of network security, in which you have understood firewall as well as what an IDS means. Okay. Now that we understand that what a firewall does and what an intrusion detection does, let us go into another or a very, very interesting topic, which is a little advanced in network security, but in today's world, it is fundamental in nature. Okay. This particular piece of system. So this is called security information and event management. Okay, so this security information and event management software is a very core part of the cybersecurity system. Okay, and this leads to something which is called a SOC, which is known as a security operation center. This software is used to establish the security operation center. Okay. Now, let's look at this picture that we have in front of you. And I am sure in the world of crime thrillers today, we would have all seen such a picture in one of the movies or the other. Okay. So this is basically an investigation board of a crime investigator. Okay. So what is this board all about? This board is the evidences that has been collected from a crime scene from different sources. Okay, so something like a card, picture, okay, some evidence which was there in that particular scene, some map, maybe some fingerprint somewhere, some piece of chit, maybe from something from the crime scene, something from outside this crime scene, something which is much before the crime, you know, which was there in somewhere. We have got the got the evidence. Some stuff which is probably during the crime. You know, we just got hold of that during the crime, and something which is after the crime. Before, right? All of these, that you have to collect everything, right? You don't know how to put in things. So what you are doing is you are only collecting logs here, or collecting evidences here, there, and all this. And then you put it together in a board. And then you start finding meaning out of the data. This is because of this. Okay, oh, this is related to this. Now there is some text here and there. Oh, this is related to this. Okay. And then once you start putting that together, it is called co-relating the events, right? You are co-relating all these events together by all the evidence which are collected and also by the timeline of the events, right? So if, oh, this car, this tire, you know, it was changed 2 months back, okay? And some path mark that you discover is of a new tire, right? So this is how you relate, right? This is very interesting. This is how crime investigation happens. And many of the times, this is what leads to the discovery of the crime. So this board that you see in front of you is actually a SIEM solution in cybersecurity. Simple. There it happens in real time. Here it happens post facto. What happens? There you collect logs from different devices which are capturing security logs, right? Like this is actually a firewall sending whatever it has seen as something which is called a log, which is called an event, right? It is sending an event or log to this board, which is a SIM board, right? Then there is intrusion detection that you learned. It is also sending is, and you and the device are then trying to make meaningful data out of these separate bits. This is called a SIM solution. Okay. So if you understand these basics, again, I'm telling you, if you can crack these basics, if you can internalize this, it will go a long way of understanding what a SOC does, what a SIM solution is. Okay. So this is what is a SIEM solution or a SOC solution, right? Just go about it, think about it, internalize, and try to absorb that what this concept means. Why is a board used? What are these lines? Okay, how timeline is associated to this, and why you have so many. Why do you require so many evidences in order to come to that device? Okay, so this is what it fundamentally means. Okay, if you have learned this, and if you are able to understand this, believe you me that you will be able to crack the higher technology parts quite easily. And always come back and understand this, the basics. Okay. So good. I think we have made good progress and we have come to SOC, which is a very large topic in cybersecurity and network security. And the last and fundamental piece that I want to touch in this episode is something called encryption. Encryption is always used in any transaction that we are doing. Okay. Fundamentals of network security communication. If you don't encrypt, you will not be able to do that. Any banking transaction that we do, any Facebook page that we open, any Google page that we open currently, any sensitive information that we do, you always heard about encryption, encryption, encryption. What is encryption? You are this person, you know, she has to pass from place A, place B. And there is no way that she can, and this place is totally populated and she's basically wanted. Whatever be the let's not be a moral judge. She's wanted for good reasons or bad reasons, but she's wanted. She needs to go from place A to place B. It's a normal street. Okay, there is no other way that she can hide and go along. She has to go in the morning itself. Amongst all these people, there might be some cops here as well. She has to go from place A to place B. So what's the way she can go and reach B, but still not get caught? She has to disguise herself as somebody else who is not what the cops or the people or the agencies are looking for, right? So this is her encrypted self. She has been encrypted. She has encrypted herself into a separate being. And then she passes through this and reaches here. And then she takes off her, makeup and whatever. She again becomes decrypted to her original self. So this process of putting on something, looking like something else, going undetected through a channel which is transparent to everybody. Everybody can look at it, okay, but can't make anything out of that. She's unrecognizable. This is called encryption. And then she reaches her point B, she again reads it. This is how your banking transactions happen, right? You pass your passwords, you pass your values, you pass your username, everything on the internet, which is visible to everybody. But they cannot do anything out with that data because they can't understand the data because it's encrypted somewhere. How it is done, what are the methods you are going to learn as you go forward into your career and into your interest in network security. There is always a lot of things to learn. If you know these basics, then at least it's very easier for you to grasp why I am doing it, right? So good, thanks a lot. I think we have come to the end of episode 2, and there will be many more episodes trying to teach you about these fundamentals and how you can grasp the fundamentals. Be with us, subscribe to our channel, and any questions, please put it in the comment section. We'll be happy to answer you. Thank you. Take care.